Sigma females have a secret playbook of quirky behaviors that will leave you scratching your head. Have you ever wondered why some things that seem perfectly reasonable to most make absolutely no sense to Sigma females? This question may lead us down a rabbit hole of understanding the enigmatic Sigma female, a unique archetype in the world of personality types. Sigma females are often misunderstood, sometimes even by themselves. They are the introverted, self-reliant individuals who prefer their own company to the hustle and bustle of social gatherings. Not because they are antisocial, but simply because they thrive in solitude. They are the quiet observers, the ones who can sit in silence and find comfort in their own thoughts. They are the ones who are often seen as aloof or detached. But in reality, they are deeply introspective, constantly questioning and exploring the world within them. They are the ones who find beauty in the mundane, who can turn an ordinary moment into an extraordinary revelation. Their perspective of the world is unique, often puzzling to those who don't share it. They question the norms, the rules, the shoulds and musts that society imposes. They find it hard to understand why people do certain things or behave in certain ways just because it's what everyone else does. Sigma females are the ones who march to the beat of their own drum. They are not rebels without a cause, but individuals with a unique perspective. They are not afraid to stand out, to be different, to challenge the status quo. They are the silent leaders, the ones who lead by example, not by command. They are the ones who believe in the power of actions over words. They are the ones who are not swayed by public opinion, but are guided by their own inner compass. Sigma females are the ones who find strength in solitude, who find wisdom in silence, who find peace in their own company. They are the ones who understand that being alone does not mean being lonely, so it's no surprise that certain societal norms and expectations can baffle them, leaving them scratching their heads in bewilderment. They don't just accept things at face value, they dig deeper, question more, and seek to understand the why behind everything. Now let's dive into the 8 things that perplex Sigma females the most. First on the list is the expectation to be a social butterfly. Now let's dive into the world of the Sigma female. Our society often places a premium on extroversion, expecting individuals to always be ready to mingle, to constantly be in the mix of things. But for Sigma females, this expectation can be more than just a little draining. They aren't antisocial, far from it. They just don't see the need for constant superficial socializing. They prefer the substance over the surface, valuing deep, meaningful connections over small talk and trivial encounters. They seek conversations that stimulate their minds, challenge their beliefs, and enrich their understanding of the world. For them, it's not about the number of friends on their social media profiles, but the quality of relationships they nurture in their lives. They prefer the company of a few close confidants rather than a large group of acquaintances. This expectation of constant social interaction is something Sigma females simply cannot wrap their heads around. The second baffling concept for Sigma females is the need for constant validation. Now, isn't that something? Sigma females, being the self-reliant and independent creatures they are, often find this concept perplexing. They are comfortable in their own skin, cherishing their individuality and independence, which doesn't hinge on the opinions of others. To Sigma females, the idea of constantly seeking approval or validation feels like giving away their power. It's like saying, hey, you over there, you get to decide if I'm good enough. And to them, that's just plain odd. They believe in their abilities, they trust their judgment, they value their unique perspective. They don't need a chorus of approval to feel good about themselves. In essence, Sigma females find the idea of constantly needing validation to be a peculiar game, one they have no interest in playing. This incessant need for validation is a concept that's foreign to Sigma females. Thirdly, we have the obsession with materialism. It's a puzzling phenomenon for Sigma females. You see, for them, life is not about owning the latest iPhone or flaunting the newest fashion trends. Instead, it's about cherishing experiences. They find joy in a mesmerizing sunset, an enlightening book, a stimulating conversation, or a breathtaking hike. They seek fulfillment not in the material, but in the immaterial, the intangible. The societal fixation on material possessions, the incessant need to upgrade, to have more, to be seen with the latest and the greatest, is something they find bewildering. For Sigma females, value is not determined by the price tag but by the richness of the experience. So while the world chases after the latest gadgets and gizmos, Sigma females chase after moments, memories, and meaningful experiences. This obsession with materialism is something that Sigma females just cannot comprehend. Next up is the pressure to conform. The world often expects us to follow certain norms, to fit into predetermined molds. But Sigma females, they flip the script. They're the ones who value their individuality above all else. And the very idea of conforming for the sake of fitting in is just baffling to them. Instead of joining the latest trends, they create their own. Instead of going with the flow, they swim against the current. They are the rebels with a cause, the trailblazers who dare to step off the beaten path. They don't let the world define them, they define themselves. They are not afraid to be different, to stand out, to be unique. To Sigma females, the pressure to conform is not just puzzling, it's downright counterproductive. It goes against everything they believe in, everything they stand for. This pressure to conform is something that doesn't sit well with Sigma females. Fifth on our list is the fear of solitude. Now, this is a concept that might seem alien to Sigma females. They're the type who relish in their own company. They enjoy solitude and the tranquility that comes with it. They savor the quiet moments when they can reflect, gather their thoughts, or simply exist without the constant buzz of social expectations. While society often portrays solitude as something to be feared as an undesirable state, Sigma females see it in a different light. To them, solitude is not loneliness but a state of enriching self-discovery and personal growth. They find it puzzling, even absurd, that people are so afraid of being alone. Sigma females value their independence and the freedom to explore their inner worlds without interruption. They understand that being alone does not equate to being lonely. And that's what truly sets them apart. This fear of solitude is something that Sigma females simply do not understand. Sixth, we have the overemphasis on appearance. Now let's delve into a topic that Sigma females find particularly perplexing: society's laser focus on physical appearance. You see, Sigma females tend to place a higher value on character, on the substance that lies within, rather than the shell that houses it. They understand that appearances can be deceptive, and so they prefer to judge a book by its content, not its cover. This isn't to say that they neglect their appearance or don't appreciate aesthetics. They do, but they know that it's not the be-all and end-all. They find it absurd when people prioritize appearance over everything else, when they allow it to dictate their self-worth or happiness. They can't fathom why society often equates beauty with virtue or success. For them, it's the strength of character, the richness of the soul, that truly counts. This overemphasis on appearance is something that Sigma females find baffling. Seventh, we have the hustle culture. Now, the hustle culture is a phenomenon that has swept across society. It's all about working non-stop, grinding away, and pushing ourselves to the brink for the sake of success. But Sigma females, they just don't get it. You see, Sigma females value balance. They understand the importance of hard work, but they also recognize the need for rest, for peace, for moments of quiet reflection. They believe in working smart, not necessarily working hard. They value quality over quantity. To them, the constant hustle seems like a race with no finish line. It's a puzzling obsession that seems to prioritize work over well-being, success over sanity. They question the wisdom of a culture that pushes people to burn out, that doesn't leave room for life outside of work. This hustle culture is something that Sigma females just cannot wrap their heads around. Last but not least, we have the fear of change. Now, this is something that perplexes Sigma females. Why? Because they're the epitome of adaptability. Change is their bread and butter. It's their opportunity to explore new avenues, to challenge themselves, to grow and evolve. It's not something to be feared, but rather, it's something to be embraced. You see, Sigma females are like water. They flow, they adapt, they shape themselves to any container, any circumstance, any change. They find it bewildering when society resists change, clings to the familiar, and shies away from the unknown. For Sigma females, the unknown is an adventure. It's a blank canvas, a new chapter, a fresh start. It's the essence of life itself, dynamic and ever-changing. They find it puzzling why society would prefer the monotony of the known over the excitement of the new. This fear of change is something that Sigma females just do not understand. So there you have it, the 8 absurd things that make no sense to Sigma females. Let's take a moment to recap. We explored the social butterfly expectation, which clashes with the Sigma female's preference for deep, meaningful interactions over superficial small talk. We delved into the need for constant validation, A concept foreign to the self-assured Sigma female, we exposed the obsession with materialism, which couldn't be further from the Sigma female's value-driven approach to life. We then ventured into the pressure to conform, something the independent Sigma female naturally resists. We addressed the fear of solitude, which is more of a sanctuary for the introverted Sigma female. We uncovered the overemphasis on appearance, a shallow concern that pales before the Sigma female's pursuit of knowledge and personal growth. Finally, we touched on the hustle culture and the fear of change, both of which the adaptable and introspective Sigma female navigates with ease and grace. Remember, what may seem absurd to one may make perfect sense to another. That's the beauty of human diversity. Until next time, keep exploring and keep questioning.